Billund, Denmark, 1924. Ole Kirk Christiansen is a master carpenter. He builds houses and furniture. He's a hard worker, a devout Christian, and a loving father. But fate seems to hate him. One Sunday afternoon, while he is resting, his two young sons are playing in the workshop. They accidentally set fire to some wood shavings. The fire spreads instantly. Within hours, Ole's workshop and his family home burns to the ground. He loses everything. Most men would give up. Ole rebuilds. He builds a bigger workshop. He hires assistants. He tries to move on. But then, 1929 hits. The Great Wall Street crash. The world enters the Great Depression. No one in Denmark has money to build houses anymore. Ole has no customers. He has to fire his workers. And then the final blow. His beloved wife dies, leaving him alone to raise 4 young boys. He is broke, he is grieving, he has 4 hungry mouths to feed. But he has wood, and he has his hands. Play well. Ole looks at the scraps of wood left in his empty workshop. He can't build houses, but maybe he can build something smaller, something to make his children smile. He starts carving small wooden ducks, yo-yos, and cars. His brothers tell him he is crazy. Toys? You're a master carpenter. Making toys is humiliating. Ole doesn't care. He loads the toys onto his back and walks from town to town, trading them for food, sometimes for a bag of apples, sometimes for a piece of pork, just to keep his sons alive. In 1934, he decides his little company needs a name. He holds a contest among his employees, which were mostly his sons. He combines 2 Danish words, lie, play, and got, good. Lego, play well. Ironically, he didn't know that in Latin, Lego means I put together. It was destiny. He adopts a motto that hangs on the workshop wall. Det beste ikke forgot. Only the best is good enough. The plastic gamble. Business starts to recover, but then World War II begins. The Nazis occupy Denmark. And in 1942, tragedy strikes again. An electrical short circuit causes a massive fire. For the second time, Ole's factory burns to the ground. Everything is gone. Ole is old now. He almost gives up. But his son, Gottfried, convinces him to rebuild. We can do this, Papa. After the war, Ole goes to a trade fair in Copenhagen. He sees a new machine that just arrived from Britain, an automatic plastic injection molding machine. Most people thought plastic was cheap and ugly. Ole saw the future. He spent an enormous amount of money, twice the company's yearly profit, to buy the first plastic molding machine in Denmark. He started making little plastic bears and rattles. And then he saw a sample of a British toy called Kittycraft, interlocking building bricks. Ole liked them, but he thought he could improve them. He launched the automatic binding bricks in 1949. But there was a problem. Retailers hated them. Plastic toys will never replace wood, they said. And honestly, the bricks were bad. They didn't stick together. You could build a tower, but if you touched it, it crumbled.
The system of play. Ole's health is failing. His son, Gottfried, is now running the operations. Gottfried is traveling on a ferry to England. He meets a toy buyer who complains, "The toy industry is a mess. There is no system. Every toy is a one-off item." Godfred has a light bulb moment. A system. What if Lego wasn't just a toy, but a system? What if every brick you bought in 1955 fit perfectly with a brick you bought in 1965? What if you could build anything? He went back to Billund and analyzed the bricks. They needed to stick better. They needed clutch power. He spent years experimenting. Finally, he found the solution: the tubes. By placing hollow tubes inside the bottom of the brick, they could grip the studs on top perfectly, not too tight, not too loose. On January 28, 1958, at 1:58 p.m., they patented the Lego brick we know today. Sadly, Ole Kirk Christiansen died just a few months later. He never saw his little plastic bricks conquer the world, but he left the company in good hands. The third fire. You would think the tragedy was over. In 1960, a third fire broke out in the factory. It burned down the warehouse that stored all the wooden toys. Godfred stood in the ashes. He looked at the melted plastic and the burnt wood. He made a ruthless decision. That's it. No more wood. He decided to discontinue the wooden toys that had saved his father's life during the Depression. From now on, Lego would be 100% plastic bricks. It was a risky move, but it focused the company. They expanded to Germany, then America. They built Legoland. They created Duplo for toddlers and Technic for engineers. The Lego brick became the toy of the century. Mathematicians have calculated that just 6 2x4 Lego bricks can be combined in over 915 million different ways. Rebuilding the future. Lego faced one more crisis in the early 2000s. They almost went bankrupt because they tried to do too much. Video games, clothes, jewelry. They forgot the brick. But a new CEO, Jürgen V. Knudstorp, saved them by going back to basics. Focus on the brick. Focus on the system. Today, Lego is the largest toy company in the world. It started with a carpenter who lost everything, a man who refused to let the fire burn his dreams. So, the next time you step on a Lego brick in the middle of the night and scream in pain, remember Ole Kirk Christiansen. Remember that sometimes you have to build, burn down, and rebuild again to create something that lasts forever. This is Para Chronicle.